These are the reckonings of the tabernacle of testimony, which were reckoned at Moses' bidding. The labor of the Levites was under the authority of Isamar, son of Aaron the Kohen. Bezal, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, did everything that Hashem commanded Moses. With him was Olilab, son of Ashimach, of the tribe of Dan, a carver, weaver, and embroiderer, with turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool, and with linen. All the gold that was used for the work, for all the holy work, the offered up gold was 29 talents and 730 shekels in the sacred shekel. The silver of the census of the community was 100 talents, 1,775 shekels in the sacred shekel, a bekah for every head, a half shekel in the sacred shekel for everyone who passed through the census takers, from 20 years of age and up, for the 600, 3,550. The 100 talents of silver were to cast the sockets of the sanctuary and the sockets of the partition. 100 sockets for 100 talents, a talent per socket. And from the 1,775 he made hooks for the pillars, covered their tops, and banded them. The offered up copper was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. With it he made the sockets of the entrance to the tent of meeting, the copper altar, the copper meshwork that was on it, and all the vessels of the altar, the sockets of the courtyard all around, the sockets of the gate of the courtyard, all the pegs of the tabernacle, and all the pegs of the courtyard all around. From the turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool they made knit vestments to serve in the sanctuary, and they made the holy vestments for Aaron as Hashem had commanded Moses. He made the ephod of gold, turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool, and twisted linen. They hammered out the 10 sheets of gold and cut threads to work the weaver's craft into the turquoise, into the purple, and into the scarlet wool, and into the linen. They made attached shoulder straps, for it was attached to its two ends. The belt with which it was emplaced, which was on it, was made from it, of the same workmanship of gold, turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool, and linen twisted as Hashem had commanded Moses. They made the shoham stones, encircled with gold settings, engraved like the engraving of a signet ring, according to the names of the sons of Israel. He placed them on the shoulder straps of the ephod as remembrance stones for the sons of Israel, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He made the breastplate of a weaver's craft, like the workmanship of the ephod, of gold, turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool, and twisted linen. It was square, folded over did they make the breastplate. Its length was a half cubit, and its width was a half cubit, folded over. They filled it with 4 rows of stones, a row of odem, pitath, and barkes, 1 row. The second row, nofech, sapir, and yachalom. The third row, leshem, shevo, and achlam. The fourth row, tarshish, shoham, yashveth, encircled with gold settings in their mountings. The stones were according to the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engraving of a signet ring, each man according to his name, for the 12 tribes. For the best breastplate they made chains at the edges of braided craftsmanship of pure gold. They made 2 gold settings and 2 gold rings, and they placed the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. They placed the 2 gold ropes on the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. The 2 ends of the 2 ropes they placed on the 2 settings and placed them on the shoulder straps of the ephod toward its front. They made 2 gold rings and placed them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, at its edge, which is on its inner side toward the ephod. They made 2 gold rings and placed them at the bottom of the 2 shoulder straps toward the front, opposite its seam above the belt of the ephod. They attached the breastplate from its rings to the rings of the ephod with a turquoise woolen cord, so that it would remain above the belt of the ephod, and the breastplate would not be loosened from above the ephod, as Hashem had commanded Moses. They made the robe of the ephod of a weaver's craft, entirely of turquoise wool. Its head opening was folded over within like the opening of a coat of mail. Its opening had a border all around so that it would not tear. On the robe's hem they made pomegranates of turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool twisted. They made bells of pure gold, and they placed the bells amid the pomegranates on the hem of the robe. All around, amid the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate on the hem of the robe, all around, to minister as Hashem commanded Moses. They made the tunics of linen of a weaver's craft for Aaron and his sons, and the turban of linen, and the splendid headdresses of linen, and the linen breeches of twisted linen, the sash of twisted linen, turquoise, purple, and scarlet wool, of an embroiderer's craft, as Hashem had commanded Moses. They made the headplate, the holy crown of pure gold, and they inscribed on it with script like that of a signet ring, holy to Hashem. They placed on it a cord of turquoise wool to put over the turban from above, as Hashem commanded Moses. All the work of the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, was completed, and the children of Israel had done everything that Hashem commanded Moses, so did they do. They brought the tabernacle to Moses, the tent and all its utensils, its hooks, its planks, its bars, its pillars, and its sockets, the cover of red-dyed ram skins, and the cover of techash skins, and the partition curtain, the ark of testimony and its staves, and the cover, the table and all its utensils, and the showbread, the pure menorah, its lamps, the lamps of the prescribed order, and all its utensils, and the oil of illumination, the gold altar, the anointment oil, and the incense spices, and the partition of the entrance of the tent, the copper altar and its copper meshwork, its staves, and all its utensils, the laver and its base, the curtains of the courtyard, its pillars and its sockets, the partition of the gate of the courtyard, its ropes and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, the knitted vestments to serve in the sanctuary, the sacred vestments of Aaron the Kohen, and the vestments of his sons to minister. Like everything that Hashem commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel perform all the labor. Moses saw the entire work, and behold, they had done it as Hashem had commanded, so had they done, and Moses blessed them. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, On the day of the first new moon, on the first of the month, you shall erect the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. There you shall place the ark of testimony, and screen the ark with the partition. You shall bring the table, and prepare its settings, bring the menorah, and kindle its lamps. You shall place the gold altar for incense in front of the ark of testimony, and place the curtain of the entrance of the tabernacle. You shall place the elevation offering altar in front of the entrance of the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. You shall place the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and you shall put water there. You shall emplace the courtyard all around, and emplace the curtain at the gate of the courtyard. You shall take the anointment oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and everything that is in it. Sanctify it and all its vessels, and it shall become holy. You shall anoint the elevation offering altar and all its utensils. You shall sanctify the altar, and the altar shall become holy of holies. You shall anoint the laver and its stand, and sanctify it. You shall bring Aaron and his sons near to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and immerse them in water. You shall dress Aaron in the sacred vestments, and anoint him. You shall sanctify him, and he shall minister to me. And his sons you shall bring near, and dress them in tunics. You shall anoint them as you had anointed their father, and they shall minister to me. And so it shall be, that their anointment shall be for them for eternal priesthood for their generations. Moses did according to everything that Hashem commanded him, so he did. It was in the first month of the second year of the first of the month that the tabernacle was erected. Moses erected the tabernacle. He put down its sockets, and emplaced its planks, and inserted its bars, and erected its pillars. He spread the tent over the tabernacle, and put the cover of the tent on it from above, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He took and placed the testimony into the ark, and inserted the staves on the ark, and he placed the cover on the ark from above. He brought the ark into the tabernacle, and emplaced the partition sheltering the ark of testimony, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He put the table in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the partition. He prepared on it the setting of bread before Hashem, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He placed the menorah in the tent of meeting, opposite the table on the south side of the tabernacle. He kindled the lamps before Hashem, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He placed the gold altar in the tent of meeting, in front of the partition. Upon it he caused incense spices to go up in smoke, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He emplaced the curtain of the entrance of the tabernacle. He emplaced the elevation offering altar at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and brought up upon it the elevation offering and the meal offering, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He emplaced the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and there he put water for washing. Moses, Aaron, and his sons washed their hands and feet from it. When they came to the tent of meeting, and when they approached the altar, they would wash, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He erected the courtyard all around the tabernacle and the altar, and he emplaced the curtain of the gate of the courtyard. So Moses completed the work. The cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of Hashem filled the tabernacle. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting, for the cloud rested upon it, and the glory of Hashem filled the tabernacle. When the cloud was raised up from the tabernacle, the children of Israel would embark on all their journeys. If the cloud did not rise up, they would not embark until the day it rose. For the cloud of Hashem would be on the tabernacle by day, and fire would be on it at night, before the eyes of all of the house of Israel throughout their journeys.